tell us a bit about the journey of like unlocking features of YouTube and actually using them to their advantage.
Everything sort of starts in the northern hemisphere and then falls down.
What would I say to those channels? The most valuable tool is...
I think the main message from this podcast will be that when you start a YouTube channel, it really is a marathon, not a sprint.
My recent travel to London, I didn't know that our market in London was that big. I knew because of stats, but you know, when you look at stats, you just see 5%, 10%. You don't see actual people until you like plug in like, hey, this is not just a percentage. These are actual people who are living in a different continent.
Hi, I'm Hannah, known online as Fabulous Hannah.
And I'm Simi, known online as Tamago2474, and welcome to Making It, a podcast for creators by creators.
We're both YouTubers ourselves, and on this show we talk with other creators about their journey to success and what they've learned along the way.
Today we're joined by Mpumi Ledwaba, whose focus on promoting wisdom and wellness has helped countless people all over South Africa and beyond. But where to even begin when describing Mpumi? I'm going to have to just read it off right here. She's a serial entrepreneur, a public speaker, a podcaster, a writer, a YouTuber, and more, on top of being a wife and mother to 2 young children. We're also happy to be joined by her husband, Brendan Praise, a multi-genre musician, pianist, composer, producer, as well as being the person behind the camera and in the editing bay, who actually helped Mpumi get started on her channel. Talk about a power couple. Now, one of the first videos you'll find on her channel is fittingly titled First Things First. And as far as first videos go, this one is pretty good. She's 24, sitting in her bedroom, having a casual one-to-one with what would soon become a very engaged audience. And she's telling the story of her journey so far, from her, studying to be an accountant to her deciding to pursue her true passion of starting a business. Mpumi and Brendan, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Geez, what an incredible introduction. I feel like everywhere, I should take you with me everywhere and you should introduce me wherever I go.
I'd be happy to.
Okay,
It sounds like a lot of travel. And Brendan, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Such an honor to be on this podcast with you guys. And yeah, hopefully we can learn something from you guys.
Absolutely,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely. So, just on the note of your first video, could you tell us a bit about that moment, deciding that you're going to upload and start this YouTube journey?
Sure. I think I'll probably let Brendan speak on the technical side, but for me, it wasn't even about that. I wasn't a consumer of YouTube. I thought YouTube was just for music videos at the time. I know I was a little behind, but my husband he loves research. He loves watching stuff. So he knew what was happening in the YouTube world. And a lot of my audience on different social apps were like, you should start a YouTube channel. And I was like, what am I going to say? How does it even work? And eventually Brendan convinced me that, look, you've got something to say. I think you should do it. And my condition was, I will be in front of the camera. I will tell the stories. I'll come up with the content, but I never want to touch or switch on a camera. And I think 5, 6, 7 years in, I still haven't switched on a camera. I don't know how to autofocus. All I know is to be in front of the camera and keep it going. So yeah. And I think Brendan can share how his first video upload and shooting went. I think it was a little more of a sweat job on his side.
Yeah, it was very scary. I think when you start, you're obviously looking at the people that are doing at the highest level, and you're trying to learn, and you're looking at what they say you should do. And we realized we didn't have any of the equipment. We didn't have a camera. We didn't have tripods. We didn't have lighting. So we had to maximize on the natural light in the house. We had to shoot at sunset, golden hour, or whatever, so the light wasn't harsh. And it's all those things, and we, grabbed some shoe boxes and created our own tripod stand with that. And yeah, but I think essentially what it taught us was that at the end of the day, it's about the content. And luckily enough, Mpumi's content was good and sound, and it was already refined because her life was already sort of in a place where she had learned all these things that she was talking about, and she was sharing from a deeper place.
Do you know what? I wish my boyfriend was more into YouTube. I would love to not have to do any of the editing side of it, sorting all that out. Honestly, it sounds like the dream team. So I'm interested to know that dynamic where obviously Mpumi, you're in front of the camera, Brendan, you're behind the camera, and it's always been that way. How do you find that with, because obviously you're married as well. What's it like working together?
Sure, it is really, really, it really, really is hard. But I was talking to a friend yesterday, and he actually gave me the stats that apparently couples who work together stay married longer or stay married. You know, the odds are there's a favor for working together. But during the process, it does get really hard for us to separate work and home. In the beginning, it was easy because YouTube was a fun thing. It was just another thing that we were doing. So there wasn't a lot of pressure. Brendan had his career going. I had my business, my salon business growing. And so a lot of things weren't dependent on my YouTube channel working until we saw the opportunity and the growth. And I'm very interested in the business world, and Brendan is very interested in production and the highest quality. So now we've got two people. One is an extremist in business and one is an extremist in production and quality. And now we have to come together. So the end product is magical, but the process and of understanding each other's working languages. So you can imagine a numbers person versus a creative. I'm a structure, work starts at 9, need to get it. And then you've got a creative who goes with the flow. And each person needs that. I need my structure, and he needs his flow. And on a bad day, it doesn't work. But on a good day, it really, really works. So it is quite challenging. But we've been doing it for so long. We've tried out working with other people and separating. But I think it gives us a sense of purpose, and it helps us develop our other skills, our EQ, our communication skills, and all of that, so that it can work in the business, because the business is meaningful. The YouTube business is meaningful to us. So, yeah, I'll say it's challenging, but it's worth it. Brendan, do you share the same?
Yeah, what she said.
Wow.
No, that's really cool, because we have had creators on the past, particularly Jade Beeson, who mentioned that she sees there being two types of creators. There are sort of the planners, the more strategic people, and then the more creative people. And so it seems that you have found a way to, combine those and really make a good team that works together. For the listeners at home and the viewers, could you tell us a bit more about your channel, what you do, and what your goals are for the channel in the content you create?
Sure. So it started, when I started, there wasn't really this 5-year plan of this is how it's going to be. I think when I entered, it was what is happening. And everybody at the time was vlogging. And naturally, I thought that, well, that's what I have to do. But my first video, first things first, was an introduction, which I guess it's the breadcrumbs to what I'm doing now, because I now have conversations, and I didn't know it then. At the time, I just thought, you know what, let me introduce myself before I get into this vlogging thing. And then I started vlogging, and it was fun to a certain extent, but it never really felt like home to me. Brendan always had to be there. And if he wasn't there, all my content was either blurry or I'd miss moments, because I like being present. And I had to start finding my own niche within the YouTube space, because I was growing frustrated that this is what's expected of me, but this isn't really me. And I started playing around with, let's have conversations together. I think we did some Q&As together, which eventually became a docu-series called Our Love Journey. And then the Wisdom and Wellness podcast started as also conversations with other people that I would invite, that I was interested in their journeys. So each thing has built up, and the way that I view my channel now, I almost look at it as a production house, if I can call it that, for lack of a better phrase or better word, where I come up with concepts and we create them. Like I said, the I Love Journey docuseries and the Wisdom and Wellness podcast, and we've done some cooking shows. So I've got this network is the word, this network where I produce these different shows. And so versus trying to treat it as what other people are thriving in, like I've seen vloggers who excel at vlogging and I can't get there, and I decided, well, maybe let me not try fit in the box, but how can I use this platform the best way that speaks to me, that feels natural and comfortable for me, but also serves my audience and makes the most out of the YouTube platform. And so getting to your question, what you can expect on my platform right now is a whole lot of podcast conversations where I invite people who are doing exceptionally well in their respective fields, be it an actress, be it a another creative or a business person, and we just talk about the journey of life and uncover their purpose and tools that we can share with the audience on how to be the best versions of themselves. And I should actually change it to wisdom and wellness, but Mpumi Ledwaba still works.
It still works. We love that personal. Thanks again to everyone for joining us on this episode of the Making It podcast. We hope to see you again soon.